My name is Rylee Sherwood. I'm a third year. I'm studying science education with a minor in or concentration in middle grades. In the summer of 2023, I got an internship through NC State, and it basically paid me to go back to my hometown and work in anything education related for that summer. And I chose to work at a nonprofit called Young Scientist Academy, which is a no-cost experience for kids, honestly, like 5 through 18, to just have fun with science, go on field trips, and do kinds of STEM stuff that they might never get the experience to do. I was honestly a jack of all trades. I did whatever I was needed to do, but mostly I was kind of like a camp counselor, so kind of just watching the kids, supervising the kids. We did all kinds of activities, so I wrote some lesson plans. I wrote a lesson plan for like a solar power battery and did some presentations, like one about climate change. We did field trips, and so I assisted on field trips and things like that. So I really was just another set of hands. It challenged my scientific knowledge, first of all. It made me realize like all the things that I didn't know, because kids would ask me questions and they would seem pretty basic science questions, but I would realize that I didn't actually know what to tell them. Like before field trips the night before, I'd be looking up like what a wetland was and how to explain any questions that they might have. Also, I learned more about like student and like authority, ethics, and relationships and stuff like that. I also learned how to communicate with parents, and especially parents who don't speak English as a first language. We had some Ukrainian kids and some kids from Syria, and so I had to translate a lot of stuff into Arabic and Ukrainian and Russian and Spanish. And so that kind of flexed my Spanish muscle a little bit, but I also just learned how to be flexible with that kind of stuff. I learned a lot about behavioral management for sure, because I really just had that one-on-one experience with a lot of kids, but also them in a group setting. They were often very excited, and so I had to learn how to kind of calm them down while still having them be excited. I also learned about the benefit of forming strong relationships with each kid. There weren't a lot of kids involved in Young Scientist Academy, so I really had the chance to get to know each one of them pretty closely during the summer. And so that led to a lot of trust and a lot of like really nice memories with those kids that I still think about now. They were my first real group of kids that I ever taught and like mentored consistently. So that was probably my biggest area of growth. Like I said, this was my first real like teaching science consistently thing. So I also learned a lot more about informal science education, like not really in the classroom, but kind of more of what you can do when you're not bound by a curriculum. So I had a lot of creativity to work on lesson plans and all the types of resources and materials we used. I also learned how to effectively manage a group of kids and make science more fun and more accessible for all different types of kids. I really would say that the sky is the limit, and that a lot of places do want young people's experience, especially if you're in education. There doesn't seem to be a lot of interest in that right now. But I didn't even know that Young Scientist Academy was a thing, and I had lived in my hometown my whole life. And so it really just took some digging and some being brave and kind of being a little bit of delusional, like wanting to know, hey, would you guys take me? And not expecting them to say yes, and they did. So just don't automatically tell yourself no, because then that's going to be the answer. There are a lot of places that need young people and young people's passion, especially in the field of education. And an internship can really be like one of your most formative experiences in your young adulthood if you really lean into it like I did.